Hello and welcome to another update on the McMinnville real estate market. My name is Steve Thoele. I'm a principal broker with Premier Property Group. And this update is going to cover the last 8 weeks of market activity ending this past Sunday, July 30th. So going to share the screen with you now and go through the info with you. So this last week in McMinnville, we only had 6 new properties come on the market, which you can kind of see as a low for the past 8 weeks in terms of new listings in a week. And you can kind of see the total number of listings has declined quite a bit here in the past 2 or 3 weeks. We had a high of 69 listings here about 3 weeks back. So last week, Kenny went down to 47, and we'll see here in a minute. Big reason for that, we had kind of a little surge in pendings this last week. But the median price and the days on market for the active listings, you can kind of see as far as price goes, we were kind of in the, 560s, 570s, 580s. This last week bumped up quite considerably to 639,000 was the median price as of this last week. And then days on market, you can kind of see has been steadily rising here over the past 6 weeks or so. We had a low of 18 days 6 weeks back. This last week came in at a high of 46 days. So just about a month and a half of average market time right now for these 47 homes that are on the market in McMinnville. Okay, moving along to pending sales. I mentioned that we had kind of a little bump in pending activity last week, and I showed we had 20 homes last week in McMinnville go pending, which you can kind of see is certainly a high for the past 8 weeks in terms of new pendings. And then the total number of pendings has definitely kind of been on the rise as well. You can kind of see we were in the 60s for quite a while. Last couple of weeks has got into the 70s. This last week came in at 78 homes are right now in pending status in McMinnville. And then the median price and the days on market for the pendings hasn't moved a whole lot in terms of the price. You can kind of see we had a low of 468, high of 485. This last week was kind of in the middle of that at 478. And then days on market, you can kind of see we were sitting less than right around a week's market time for the most part. And then this last week did bump up to about 13 days. So, looks like things are starting to take a little longer to get into contract now, but, still a little less than 2 weeks of average market time for the homes that have gone into pending status here over the past couple weeks here. So, and then lastly, we'll look at sold listing activity. So as of the time I put the info together, I showed we had 12 properties crossover from pending to sold in McMinnville this last week. You can kind of see that's kind of, definitely towards the upper range of weekly closings. And when I look at over the prior 4 weeks of activity on a week-by-week basis, this last week we came in at 33 homes have closed over the prior 4 weeks. You can kind of see how that compares to the other, it's kind of right in line with kind of where it's been. Had a low of 28 closings here a couple weeks back. The median sold price and the days on market for those sold listings, you can kind of see we've been for the most part in kind of the high 400s. We've got over 1 week we did go over 500,000, 515 2 weeks back, but it kind of dropped right back down this last week to 485, most recent number on that. And then days on market, again, pretty steady. You can kind of see we had a low of 8 days, high of 13 days. This last week was at 9 days of average market time for the sold listings. And then to finish it out here, we'll look at the weeks of inventory and the sale price as a percent of the original list price. So that red bar is that weeks of inventory kind of measuring relative supply and demand. You can see we started off about 6 weeks of inventory and it rose slowly here, got up to about 9 weeks of inventory here 2 weeks back. And then this last week fell back down to just about a little under 6 months because of that big drop we had in the number of actives and, fairly steady amount of sold. So most recent reading about 6 months, or excuse me, about 6 weeks of inventory. And then the sale price as a percent of the original list price, you can kind of see that's dipped a bit from kind of the high. We did get over 100% of asking price here early on, or it's about 7 weeks back at 101%, and that dipped down to a little above 96% of original asking price, and it has crept up a little bit. So we're just under about 98% is the most recent reading there. So all in all, McMinnville continues to be a very hot market, seller's market, and just not a lot of inventory, and prices are holding pretty firm relative to asking prices. Even in spite of continued higher interest rates. We did go over 7% here over the last week for the kind of the 30-year conventional fixed rate mortgage. So, interest rates still remain elevated, but, there's no shortage of buyers out there, even in those conditions. So hope that update was helpful for you. As always, if I can ever be of any help or answer any questions or serve your real estate needs, I certainly would love to hear from you. My phone and phone and email address are down below the video in the description, so don't hesitate to reach out. And as always, really appreciate any likes, comments, shares. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I encourage you to do so. It's a really great way for you to stay up to date on what's happening in your local real estate market. So appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great day and week ahead, and we will see you on the next update.